Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a book review for one that I was really nervous to read and wasn't sure I would pick up at all. But I tried it and it sits okay with me. I'm not traumatized by this one like I was her first book. And that would be Babel by R.F. Kuang. Today I also think I'm only going to be doing a spoiler-free review, and I'll explain why in a moment. Now, why am I doing a spoiler-free review though? I did not think really that I absorbed some of the depth of this book as good as I should have to really be able to discuss it fully. So today I'm just going to give the description, the main character, the general themes of the book, and my overall feelings and ratings. And that way you can make your own decision about whether or not you want to pick it up. And no spoilers to ruin it for anybody. For those of you who don't know though, Babel by R.F. Kuang is about a Chinese student at Oxford University. He is in the prestigious linguistics department, or Babel. The tower is named Babel because of the ancient Tower of Babel, where supposedly everyone used to speak the same language. This is a dark academia for sure. And also it is a historical fiction, except it doesn't take place in our timeline of history pretty much. A lot of the themes of the time period that she set this book were going on. It just is fantastical because instead of the specific things that were causing them in our own timeline, there is a slight bit of magic there. And it's not magic, it's almost like a science magic in her novel, in that they use silver in language to power the revolution. So instead of exactly electricity, they have silver bars that will power train cars or carriages or steamboats even. They use combinations of words to make things happen. And so the silver industry is very big, and that is what has made Britain the great empire that it is in this book. And everybody that is in England, of course, loves the British Empire. They believe they're the best in the world, that their country is better than everybody else. Even the other European nations, they look down on them. But they really look down on foreigners, as they are still using their language. Our main character through the whole novel is, of course, Robin. He's the only one that you will really see through. There are brief interludes where you'll see through his three friends just in that interlude to kind of give you a bit more background of them and what their mental process is, and it helps explain some of their actions a little bit. But his main best friend, that is kind of his roommate as well, is Rafi Marzi. Oh god, butchering names, and I listened to it and I still butcher his name, but they call him Rami through the whole book. He is a native Indian who was also raised in England since he was a little boy, just like Robin, except his, of course, language specialities are different, and they become like instant friends pretty much. They have a lot of things in common, so many similarities. And whereas Robin was kind of really sheltered and only lived in Professor Lovell's countryside estate through his tutoring and everything, Rami was a little bit more towards the city, and as he is Indian, so his skin's darker, and he really saw a lot more prejudice towards him even through growing up. The other two people of their cohort, which is what they call their year, are actually both females, which is very unusual for Oxford, of course, at this time period. Less unusual for the people in the linguistics department. They actually do not care for your gender as long as you are very good at languages, because that is what they need to be able to power their industry. And Letty is an English-born admiral's daughter who her father, of course, did not want her to study things, did not want her to go there, but after her brother died in an accident, she wrote to the people at Oxford and was like, I'm smarter than him, you will let me in, pretty much. She took the exam, she got in. But they both actually have to dress up as boys most of the time at the beginning because they don't want to be persecuted for being females, or some places wouldn't even let them in because they are girls, and they're like, you don't have someone escorting you, you can't come in. And I was like, wow, okay. And our other female character is Victoire. I think I said that right. She is Haitian born, but she grew up in France with her mother and the people her mother worked for who taught her all these languages. So her specialities are French and Creole. And that kind of gets looked down too, because they're all like, well, Haiti is barely a nation. They're a nation of savages and everything. Nobody needs to know how to speak that, which is super rude when you want to learn all these languages and yet you're going to talk down like that. It's literally the adaptation of not a nation, but adaptation of a language into its own unique form there. That could be, that should be exactly what they're looking for, but they look down on it. And poor Victoire, she has to deal with so much because she is Haitian, so she is very dark skinned, and because she is a female. So she just suffers in so many other ways that our main character does not, because of things that you have to read the book, and also being a male, he would not know the prejudices that she has to face. I feel like the main themes in this book were about racism and then the oppressiveness of industrialization and empire spreading. Of course, in this one, it was based more around the silver powering the industrialization than electricity and what really happened in our world. But the things that happened with silver, it made more of it happen all together than I think happened in real history. But it definitely showed the gaps that spread between the poor and the rich and how Britain was willing to do anything. Overall, the book did come out being a 4-star read because she is a beautiful writer. The details she puts, the intricacies, everything just came out great. Her characters were all together very different dimension. Like each of them had kind of a different viewpoint on things, and so it made them work together very well. And the layers of things. Some of the things though were a bit complicated. Like Robin as a character, he was so very sheltered, and it made him as an adult character, even if his issues or what he had to go through were a little bit less, I still think he would have cracked, personally. He just did not have that mental fortitude for life outside of an academic structure. That's all I think he could have ever done in life. Hopefully this word bubble review came out coherently enough and it wasn't too much all over the place or too little that maybe you are now okay with picking this book up. Like if you were like me and you're like, she ripped my heart out with the Poppy War, this was just so awful because she is such a detailed writer. So it makes it like very, very descriptive of the horrible things that happened in that book. So yeah, that gutted me with the Poppy War, and I was so afraid to pick this book up. But this is okay. It is a much safer read. Do bad things happen? Yes. Was it very descriptive, atmospheric, and covering very, very hard topics? Yes. But thankfully, it was not quite to what happened in her other series. The ending is sad. The ending is kind of a little depressingly bad. Yeah, we'll go with that. I hope though that maybe you have been encouraged to pick this up if you were afraid that it would be too gruesome like the Poppy War. Or if you're on the fence of it because you've also heard that it is more mundane, then possibly you will still consider it if you think that just being atmospheric, dark academia, and dealing with the hard topics will be enough. If you guys have read Babel, please let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts on it were. You liked it, you didn't like it, you're still on the fence about it. You'll have to let me know. Hopefully, if you're on the fence though, that this video was informative enough without spoilers much to be able to convince you whether or not to read it. And I hope that you guys are all finding something awesome to read today. And if you're interested, you can check out some of my other review videos for books that we've read. And I hope you're having a lovely weekend. Bye!